Hi everyone, I've just put together this sequence for a friend of mine actually who messaged me to say she had really tight hip flexors which was affecting her running or not being able to run. Often with tight hip flexors you can have tight hamstrings, so going to stretch these out a little as well, but this is a main focus on the hip flexors, so quads, the adductors, all this area across the front of the hip, psoas major and so on. So I'll get going. You will need potentially 2 blocks and a strap. Sometimes a couple of towels can be useful for one of the poses. I haven't got it today because it doesn't work on this sticky mat. I know, so we'll start. Grab your first block and come to seated. You can sit cross-legged or you can sit with the shins onto the floor, feet facing back if that's more comfortable. But we'll begin with some breath work and then we'll go into the sequence. So resting your hands on your knees or in your lap, palms faced up, thumbs I should say touching. Close your eyes. Gently close your mouth and begin to draw the breath in through your nose. Try and lengthen your spine as you inhale, reaching the top of your head towards the ceiling. And exhale, soften your shoulders. Allow the hips to sink in towards the block. Bring an evenness to the breath, so observe whether your inhale and exhale are the same length. As you exhale, allow tension to fall away from your face. Lengthen the back of the neck. Keeping that breath in and out through the nose, or engaging with the Ujjayi breath if you're familiar with that practice. Open the eyes. You can release off your block. So crossing the legs if they're not already. Block can move to the side. Inhale, raise your arms. Gaze up to fingertips. And exhale, just twist out to the right, gently left hand on right thigh, right knee, right fingertips close behind you. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist, just a gentle twist to begin with, gaze out to the side, come turn out to over the shoulder, that's a little bit more advanced, and then inhale back to centre, exhale to the opposite side, so the fingertips are close behind you, you press into the fingertips and into that right hand or the hand on the thigh, really lengthen through the spine as you twist. And then inhale back to centre. Exhale, right hand down, in line with the hip. Just reach out with the left. Gaze can come along the floor. Soft through that right shoulder. If you need to, you can inch that right hand away. The aim isn't to get the elbow to the floor, but just to find the side stretch here. Keep opening that shoulder. The armpit, the left armpit to the sky. And then inhale, press back up. And then over to the other side, left hand down. Inhale here. And exhale. Again, inching that hand away if you need to. Shoulders away from the ears. Opening that armpit towards the ceiling. And then inhale, lengthen. So lift up, arms rise. Exhale, we fold forward. If you need to, fingertips can come in front. This may be enough for you, or you walk the hands forward. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. We walk the hands back up. Cross the legs the other way. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, bring the fingertips down in front and walk the hands forward. Lengthen on an inhale. And exhale, fold. Trying to ground down through the sit bones still. Even trying to just be in tension there. And walk the hands back up. So, rolling, turning to the front of your mat, rolling over the legs. We step it forward and we come into our first sun salutation, Surya Namaskara. C, we're going for a C variation with a lunge. So bringing the big toes together, heels slightly apart, grounding down through your feet. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, soften through the knees, fold it forwards, ribs to thighs, neck nice and long. Inhale, come to a gazing pose, engaging abdominals here, head extends forward, nice flat spine. Exhale, bend to the knees, hands to the mat, step the left foot back, drop the knee. Inhale, arms rise, coming into a lunge, so tailbone tucks under, and then we work into the lunge. Fingertips up towards the ceiling, lifting through the heart center. So you should feel the stretch down the front of this left hip flexor now. So going gently with your first few rounds of this. And then exhale, hands to the mat, back knee lift, step back, downward dog. So feet hip width, hands shoulder width, lifting the hips up and back. Gaze between the legs. And then rising onto the toes, we step the left foot forward. Drop the back knee, keep the toes tucked under for balance. Inhale, arms rise. So again, we engage pelvic floor. So the tailbone, the pelvis tucks under. Inhale here. And if you can, gently lunge. Keeping that tailbone, that pelvis tucking under or tipping forward. Gaze ahead. Exhale, release the hands to the front. Step the right foot to meet the left. Inhale, gaze. Exhale, fold again. So ribs to thighs, knees can be as bent as you need to just protect the lower back here. And then inhale, we rise. Exhale, forward fold. Uttanasana. Inhale, gazing pose once more. Exhale, hands to the mat, step the right foot back this time. Drop the knee, keep the toes tucked. Inhale, arms rise. If you wish, you can start to bring the palms together. That's too much through the shoulders. Keep the hands shoulder width. So lifting up through the heart center. Exhale, release the hands to the mat. Back to your downward dog. So really spreading out through fingertips now. Pressing into the knuckles, externally rotating the upper arms. So it's drawing those shoulder blades down your spine. Breathing here. And then we rise onto the toes. Step the right foot forward. If that foot gets stuck halfway, give it a helping hand with an arm underneath the knee. Drive it forward. Release the back knee down. Inhale, arms rise, tailbone tucks. Exhale, we come forward. Taking the arm variation you prefer. Gaze can be ahead or up to the fingertips, but If you feel too much, if you feel compression through the lower back, keep the gaze forward, maybe don't arch back so much. And then exhale, release the hands to the front. Step the left foot to meet the right. Inhale, gazing pose. Exhale, fold it forward, so ribs to thighs again. Hands can come to the mat. Relax the neck. Or just keep them holding onto the legs. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, release. That was one round, and we'll do one more. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, fold it forward, ribs to thighs. Inhale, find your gazing pose, so pelvic floor, core engaged here. Exhale, hands to the mat, left foot back once more. Drop the back knee. Arms rise, crescent lunge. Anjaneyasana. Exhale, release the hands down, back to downward dog. Rising onto the toes, left foot comes forward, so again, if you need to, help it through. Drop the back knee, inhale, arms rise. Exhale, release the hands to the mat, step the right foot to meet the left. Inhale, gazing pose. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Rocking the weight forward slightly to the front of the feet. Inhale, gazing pose now. One more fold, exhale. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, fold it forward. Inhale, gazing pose. Exhale, hands to the mat, step the right foot back. Drop the knee. Inhale, arms rise. Either variation. Exhale, release the hands down. Back knee lifts. Downward dog, last downward dog. Breathing there. And then gaze to the hands. Oh, sorry, we've got one more. Rising onto the knees. On the toes, the right foot steps forward. We drop the back knee. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, release to the front. Left foot meets the right. Gazing pose there. Inhale. So nice flat spine. Exhale, fold. Shoulders relaxed. And then inhale, we rise. Core strong. Palms touch. Exhale, release. So hopefully you're feeling a bit warmer now. We'll come into some of the standing postures and start to begin to open the hips a little more. So, first one, I have to check my notes. There we go. So we're coming into warrior one, we'll do a vinyasa, and then come into warrior one. So arms rise, inhale. Exhale, fold it forward, ribs to thighs. Inhale, gazing pose. Exhale, hands to the mat now, bend your knees, step it back to plank. You can lower all the way down from a full plank, or lower the knees. If you're familiar to yoga and you can do a full vinyasa through chaturanga, please continue. Otherwise, lower down. Hands stay where they are. Tops of the feet pressing into the mat. Inhale, cobra. Chest extending forward, gaze along the floor. And then exhale, release. Toes tuck under, you can push back, draw force, downward dog. Gaze comes forward now. You can rise onto the toes and step off it to the front. Inhale, gaze. Exhale, fold it forward. And then inhale, we rise. Exhale, release. So we'll step back for our first warrior one. Step back with the left foot. Toes at the back are 10 to the hour. We're trying to square the hips forward, but if it's too much on the left knee, if you feel pain to the left knee, then you can keep turning that foot in or even come onto the toes. So inhale, raise the arms. Exhale, coming forward again. The arm variation is an option for you. Breathing here. So grounding down through that back foot. Tailbone draws under again once more here. And then exhale, open out, warrior two. So we lengthen the stance. Gaze over the front hand. Working one day into bringing a right angle at the front leg. But don't worry too much if it's not there right now. So we're feeling an opening through the hips here. Inhale. And then exhale, right palm turns up, arch it back, reverse warrior. Gaze can go to the left leg, left thigh, I should say calf. Inhale. Exhale, windmill the hands now either side of that front foot. Turn onto the back toes, and we come into a lunge variation. So fingertips either side of the front foot, extend the chest forward. Lovely. Legs strong now, inhale, raise the arms. Coming into a high lunge. Again, drawing tailbone under. Breathing ahead, breathing, gaze ahead. Exhale, release the hands back. Clasp the hands, point out through the index fingers. Start to open up through the shoulders. Inhale, arch it back a little. Gaze can be ahead, or it can start to come up towards the ceiling. If you lose your breath, come back to the gaze ahead. One more breath. And then exhale. Release the hands down. So from here we're coming into lizard. So this right foot, we toe heel it out, outside the line of the hip, and the hands come down. At the same time, we slide those left toes as far back as we can. And this is a high lizard. So extend the chest, the head forward. If it's too much of a strong pose, you can always drop the knee if you're feeling tired. And release the toes, breathing there. This could be where you stay, or if you'd like to deepen into the posture, walk the hands forward slightly, and we start to soften through the forearms. So you may come halfway. You can always grab a block, rest on the block, or you can try and come into the full pose. Once you're here, try not to round through the upper back, but really extend the chest forward. And breathe there. So as I said, you can lift the knee, but it's a stronger pose. It's working as well as lengthening in that variation. And walking the hands back up. Toe heel this foot back in line, back in between the hands. Hands come to the mat, back knee lifts, and we Vinyasa. So we step back, rock plank. You can stay here, you can lower the knees, lower all the way down. Hands staying where they are, gentle cobra once more, elbows squeezing in. Inhale, extend the heart center forward. Relaxing your glutes. Exhale, release. If you're comfortable to, hands slide back and we come through to an upward dog. Soften the elbows. If not, come back to the previous cobra. Lifting through the heart center. And then whichever variation you're in, core engages, come over knees, toes tuck under, downward dog. Then rise onto the toes, bend to the knees. You can step one foot at a time, or float the feet forward. So I'll step this time. Inhale, gazing pose. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms rise. And exhale, release. So coming to the other side, we'll step back with the right foot. So I'll turn around so you can see from this side. So we're doing our warrior one on the left hand side. So again, trying to square those hips. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale. Coming into the lunge. Pressing down to the outside edge of that back foot. Inhale now. Exhale, open up, warrior two. Lengthen your stance. Gaze over that front hand. Shoulders dropping away from the ears. We tend to lean, so have a think about whether your body's over the line of the hips. And check that front knee, that it's not coming across the body. Sometimes we can find, especially if we've got strong or tight adductors, the knee will try and come across. Try and keep it in line with that second toe. And then exhale, inhale, I should say, arch your back. Gaze down to that right leg. Really trying to find the side stretch here, maybe over the hip if you're lucky, or you've got a tight hip. Inhale now. And exhale, wimble the hands down. Coming into that lunge variation, slide those toes back. Extend the heart centre forward. Firing up that back thigh. Fixing the gaze on the floor, we inhale, rise, high lunge. Exhale, hands come behind, clasp them in maybe the uncomfy way, the odd way. Inhale, start to roll, externally rotate through the shoulders, lift the heart centre. Breathing here. You should again feel more of a stretch to that right thigh. One more breath. And then exhale, release the hands. Drop the knee for your lizard. Toe that left foot out. Hands to the inside. Inhale, lengthen. So again, picking your variation with the back knee. I'm a bit tired today, so I've gone with the knee down. And we lower if we can. So we can walk the hands forward. Maybe lower. You can stay there if that's enough for you. Just picking your variation. Listening to the body, and this is one pose that you definitely can't force. So breathe there. Try and surrender to the opening through that hip, the inner thigh. Keep extending the chest forward. And then walk the hands back up. So you can hold these for as long as you like once you're familiar with the sequence. So feel free to hold these for minutes at a time. They're really effective if you hold them longer. Bring that left foot back in line with the left foot back in line with the hip. Back knee lifts, we Vinyasa. So we step back, lean forward a touch, lower the knees, lower the chest. Hands slide back towards the ribs. And we inhale, draw ourselves through to upward dog. Exhale over knees, or if you're more familiar, you want to try, you can press into the tops of the feet and lift back over the toes. Breathing there for a couple of moments in your downward dog. And then gaze forward, stepping or floating to the front. Toes touch once more, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold it forward, ribs to thighs. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, release. So our next standing poses, we're staying at the front of the mat and we'll Vinyasa into those. So next we're coming to Trikonasana and the reverse variation. So toes touch, tailbone tucks under, inhale, arms rise. Exhale, fold it forward, ribs to thighs. Inhale, gazing pose. Exhale, hands to the mat, step. Or if you want to challenge yourself, you can float back to plank. Lean forward a touch, lower the knees, lower the chest. Hands slide back. Inhale through to upward dog, soften the elbows. Exhale, over knees and toes, downward dog. Rise onto the toes now, And step the right foot forward, left heel turns in, and we inhale, we windmill the arms up. So Trikonasana. It's quite a short stance, so about 3 foot distance. Eventually you want to line the front heel with the back arch. Don't worry if you're not there yet, it will come over time. It's useful to have a block handy if you're quite tight through the hamstrings and hip flexors, placing it to the outside edge of the foot. So obviously the higher the block, the easier this will make this pose for you. So placing it to the outside edge of the foot, / shin. Inhale, extend the arms. Exhale, the left hip pushes back, the right hip pushes under. So there's an element of hinging here as you extend forward with the right hand. Right hand might take the block. You can always lower. Left arm comes up above the shoulder. So as I said, you can play around with the block height. Breathe here. So opening the body out to the side now. Gaze up to fingertips if you can. If that knocks your balance off, take the gaze back towards the floor and keep focusing on opening. Breathing here. Gaze back to that right foot now. Soften the leg, the knee. Inhale, we come up, hands to hips. And we turn to face the front of the mat. Drawing this left foot a little closer and drawing the toes further around to the front of the mat. So we're coming into the reverse variation. So I'll show you this one from the front. Again, keeping your block handy on the outside edge of that right foot. So hands to hips. Inhale, puff up through the chest that is. Lengthen through the spine, and exhale, fold forward. From here, you'll start to feel that stretch down the back, right leg. Take the left hand to the block on the outside edge of that right foot. Right hand to right hip. Extend the head forward. Exhale, twist out to the right. This may be where you stay, but you can raise the right arm. All of this may be too much, and if that is, you can just take the hands to that right shin and fold. So breathing there. This is a bit of balance as well. I'll show you what this looks like from the side. So breathing there through the inhale, through the twist I should say. Trying to extend the head forward, lengthening through the spine. One more breath as you want. And then exhale, release the hands down, bend through that right leg, drop the back knee, we'll come into a low lunge again. Keep the toes tucked under to protect the knee if you feel a lot of pressure there. You can always put a blanket underneath. Inhale, raise the arms, and exhale, we come forward once more. Breathing there. Tailbone tucking under still. So we call it scissoring the thighs together. Imagine you're trying to squeeze the thighs together, then they will come closer to each other rather than splaying out through the hips. So that's what we're trying to achieve. And then release the hands down. Grab your strap. You may not need it, but it's handy to have. Create a loop. Place the loop around your foot, and then bring the tail end towards you. Inhale here now, and exhale, come back into your lunge. Now you can release the tops of the top of the foot. We want to aim to be eventually on the meatier part at the top of the knee, so you're not right on the kneecap here. So be careful here with the pressure. Again, roll up your mat or place a blanket underneath. The right hand can come to rest, or the right arm can rest on that right thigh. And from here now, we slowly draw this right foot in between us. The strap can come over the shoulder, and breathe there. Tailbone tucking under. If you wish, you can bring the fingertips to the inside of that right foot or outside for balance. So from here now, we'll release the strap, release the foot, ease back gently, Release the strap off the foot. We Vinyasa, so back knee lifts, hands to the mat. Step back to your plank. Lower your knees and your chest. Hands slide back. Inhale through to upward dog. Exhale, use the core over knees or toes downward. And then over to the next side. Left foot steps forward, right heel turns in, and we windmill the arms up. So I'll turn around so you can see this side. Grabbing your block, keeping your strap handy. So feet 3 foot distant, 3 feet apart. Right toes at the back, turning into about 10 past the hour. Inhale, length. Exhale, left hip tucks under now, right hip pushes back as you extend as far forward as you can. Gaze to fingertips. Then exhale, the hand can come to the inner thigh or inner shin, I should say, or grab your block. And raise the right arm up above the shoulder. Gaze can be down towards that foot, out to the side, or up to fingertips. So again, focusing on opening, twisting through the spine. Breathing there. And then gaze down to that front foot. Soften the knee. Inhale, we come to stand. Release hands to hips. So reverse Trikonasana. Square the hips to the front. Those right toes can turn in further. Inhale now. Puff up through the chest, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, fold, hinge forward at the hips. Hands can slide down onto that left shin. Or you can take your block to the outside edge. Right hand comes across to rest on that block. Left hand to left hip. Extend forward. Inhale. Exhale, twist out to the left and raise the left arm. If it's too much, the left hand can stay on the hip and you can keep pressing into that right hand. One more breath. Gaze to that left foot now, soften the knee, release the hands down, release that right foot back, ready for our lunge. So walking the hands back up through that left thigh, inhale here, exhale, lower into the lunge, fingertips raised towards the ceiling. Just a couple of breaths there. And then release the hands. Inch back a little, grab your strap, place the loop, if you can, around the foot, and you can start to bring that strap over the shoulder here, or wait till you come into the lunge, resting that left arm onto the left thigh. Once you're stable, see if you can draw this right strap, or right foot up towards you, the strap over the shoulder. Size with the other side. You can rest the fingertips down. You can even grab a block if you need to. Gaze ahead. Or rest the hand on that left thigh if you have balance. So to release out, gently release the strap. Release your hands. Hinge out of the lunge. And release the strap. So in those lunges, it's really important to try and keep the tailbone tucking under and the abdominals engaged, just because otherwise we have a tendency to compress through the lower back to arch, and we want to try and counter that. So we're Vinyasa now. We'll be done with our Vinyasa soon. So stepping back into our plank, lower down, either through a full plank or through the knees, hands slide back. Inhale through to upward dog. And this time we'll exhale, just come back to child's pose. Knees become wide to either side of the mat. Trying to join the big toes or get the toes to touch. We push back, release. So walking our hands back up now, release. And come to seated. So coming into Baddha Konasana, so soles of the feet press against each other, inch the hips forward. Hands clasp around the feet. Inhale, sitting tall now. This may be where you stay. You may already start to feel this through the hips there. maybe them slightly around the outer glutes and hips. So I'll show you from the side too. So we're sitting as tall as we can, so either staying here, or if you wish to work deeper, we want to try and hinge at the hips as we fold forward. Gaze just along the floor, shoulders as relaxed as we can. So we're trying not to round to the back and bring the head to the feet here. What the aim one day is to bring the abdomen towards the feet. So really thinking about the hinge of the hips. Breathing there. Inhale, release out. Release the legs for a moment. Just shake them out. And then we cross over the legs again. And we step back into a downward dog. Lengthen, walk out through the feet if you need to. And then we lower the knees. So I'll show you this from the front as we come into pigeon and then from the side. So bring the right knee forward. Slide that left thigh back. And then take the knee out towards that right wrist, outside the line of the hip. We start to flex those right toes back. Use the hands to inch a little closer towards you for balance, and we slide that left thigh back. So this foot may be closer towards you. If you don't feel much through the right hip and glute, you can take some weight into your hand and inch this right shin further forward parallel to the mat. But we want to feel this through the hip and the bottom, not through the knee. So if it wants to come closer to the body, don't worry at all. And we breathe here in our pigeon. So from the side, it looks like this. So we're trying to square our hips, but we tend to find often the trailing leg, the hips rocking out to the side and up. So we're trying to draw it down towards the mat. So breathing here. If you feel you have some space in that right hip and you want to advance the posture, you can start to walk forward, maybe onto the forearms, maybe extend the arms. See how you feel there. So holding this for a few breaths now. And then walking the hands back up, placing the hands either side of that front foot, tuck the back toes under, just lift the knee and inch that left leg a little closer towards you to give you space to release that right foot. And you can push back to downward dog. Just walking out through the feet. If you need to, you can even extend the right leg. And then release the knees to the floor, and we come through to the other side. So left knee comes forward. Take the knee out towards that left wrist, out the line of the hip. Flex those toes back. Slide the right thigh back. So listening to the hip and the knee. Don't worry if you're rocking to the side. So I didn't say on the other side, if your hip is really high, you can place a block underneath it to support it, or roll up a towel if you're in between the block height. That can help support you and help keep you balanced. Slide that right thigh back, puffing up into your pigeon, staying here, or folding forward. Walking the hands back up now. So we use the breath. On the exhale, soften, surrender into the pose. On the inhale, you can try and lengthen. Hands come to the mat, back toes tuck under, ease forward a little bit. Release that left knee. Step it back. and release the knees. So, the next pose, frog pose or variation, it's really good for the hip flexors and opening. So we take the knees as wide as we can and start to come down onto the forearms. So to begin with, I'll show you from the side. You can see how it feels first of all with the toes touching a very wide child's pose, and you can sit and see how that feels. If you feel comfortable and you feel there's more space, you can walk the hands back up, inch those knees a little further apart, and then line up the ankles with the knees, and then once more come back onto the forearms. So we want to keep the hips, we don't have them pushing too far back. You'll feel quite a lot of tension, and that's also adding flexion into the movement. So we want to keep these hips nice and open, so the hips are just level with the knees. Knees are at right angles. So trying to keep the upper body nice and relaxed. Nice long spine. You can grab your block here. You can rest your forehead to the block. And we breathe here. The knees may naturally start to slide further apart as you relax into this. This is where the towels can be useful to help you push the knees further out, but usually a wooden floor is best for that. So we breathe here. So try not to arch the back, core gently engaged here still. And use that breath, that exhale to soften, to surrender. Use the breath to draw energy in, to lengthen. So you may be feeling quite stressed with this if it's intense. So use the breath to try and deal with that stress, to calm yourself. So I'm going to hold this just a little while longer. So to ease out, press into the forearms, come up gently onto the hands, slide one knee gently in, and then the other. You can push back to child's pose if you wish, or come into downward dog. So that one's really great for holding for a long amount of time. So if you've got more time, try and hold that one for a little bit longer. Maybe just at home when you're in the evening, maybe even watching television, dare I say it. But it's a good stretch to hold if you need to really get into the hip flexors. So releasing round. Coming into our last couple of poses. So laying onto our back, keep a hold of your strap if you need it. Hug the knees into the chest. We come into happy baby. So take the hands around the feet. We draw the knees into the armpits. If that's too much, you can take the arms around the back of the knees and just draw the knees in. Rocking from side to side. Trying to keep that lower back working towards the floor. And then release. Rolling on to your side, take the strap and loop it around the right foot. If you have tight hamstrings, if you're comfortable, you can take hold of the big toe or the leg. So we come to lay down on our side. Soft bend that left leg slightly underneath to give you balance, and you can rest your head into your left hand. So from here now, inhale, draw this right foot up towards the ceiling, keeping the hip open. It's tempting to let the leg draw forward, keeping it open. Breathing there. One more breath as you are, really flexing those toes, pressing that heel up towards the sky. And then release. Release onto your back. Extend that left leg once more. Draw that right foot in. Left hand presses down onto the left hip. Inhale here now. Exhale. Draw that right leg closer towards you. Trying to keep tension out of your face, shoulders and upper body. So you can, if you don't have a strap, you can always have the hands around the back of the calf or even the hamstring, the back of the thigh. Keeping that right hand onto the strap or leg now. Inhale here. And exhale, allow that leg to fall out to the side. But keep grounded through that left hip. If you don't have a strap, you can take the hand to rest around the back or the side of the leg, the elbow resting into the floor. Breathing there. To get a little bit more of a stretch, you can take the gaze out to the left. Engage your pelvic floor now. You can soften that right knee, draw that right leg back up. Left hand takes the strap now, or the outside edge of the foot. Inhale here, right hand comes to the floor. Exhale, draw that leg across the body now, and then draw it in. So that right hip's still trying to work back towards the floor, but it will be lifted. It's just that intention to get just a tiny more stretch around the back of the legs there. Release back to center, release the strap, release the leg. So you can stay as you are. I'll swap around. Taking the strap around that left foot now. Coming to lay on your side, resting the head onto the elbow, bending that right foot for balance, that right knee for balance. From here now, inhale, raise the left leg, turn the toes down towards the shin, open the hip out to the side. Breathing here. So keeping that hip nice and open. You may lose your balance now and then. A little bit of a core engagement here will help. One more breath. Then release. Come to lay on your back. Raise the left leg, and then inhale here, right hand presses down onto that right thigh. Exhale, draw that thigh in towards you. Breathe in there. And then on the next exhale, allow the leg to fall out to the side. Really press against that strap if you have the strap. Press down into this right thigh. You can play around with drawing that leg closer towards the upper body, or it can stay in line with the hip. See where you find the best sensation where you can release some tightness. Gaze again can come out to the side, the opposite side to the leg. So core engaged, soften the knee, draw that left leg back. The right hand takes the strap. You can use a towel even. Left hand to the floor, inhale here. Exhale, draw the foot across the body and towards you, just a little. Same time, try and draw that left hip back down towards the floor. Breathing there. Nice long inhale and exhale. And then inhale, release to center, release that strap. Release the left leg, shake both out. And then last pose to finish. Just bring the soles of the feet together. Gentle, reclined Baddha Konasana. Palms face up. The arms come either side of the body. You can close your eyes and breathe here for a few moments before coming into Shavasana, where you extend the legs and close the eyes. If you need to, you can always take blocks or blankets underneath the thighs just to support you a little here. So releasing and then coming into Shavasana. So I'll leave you there for now. Enjoy your Shavasana. I hope this has been helpful and that it loosens you up.